Use weight. Oh, and there we go. Back at it. 2023.
With the white vans. Oh,
Favorite terrain.
it's my favorite terrain. I can tell you that much. I tell you what, Bobby.
I tell you what.
I tell you what. Them daggum D&D nerds is where it's at. I tell
Telling
you.
you.
I tell you what.
How are you, Trey?
I am good yet tired. It's that
Yeah.
Sunday evening feeling, where it's like I've had a good run, but
Yeah.
God, I could go to bed right now.
Well, we'll keep this one I say
I mean,
short and sweet, but we'll
let's not kid ourselves,
yeah.
Travis. Let's not kid ourselves. We will do. Hey, nice haircut, by the way.
Thank you.
Um, I was like, I'm down. I'm down. Especially, I don't mean to rub it in anyone's faces, but I don't have to go to work tomorrow, so I'm like, I'm good. I'm good.
What are you off for?
It's MLK Day.
That's tomorrow?
Yes, it is.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you got big plans for tomorrow?
Nope, and that's the big plan. I live in a world where not having plans is my big plan. Because it took a lot of organization to make that happen.
That's the most exciting thing.
Yes.
Oh man. So, yeah. Mm,
Do the welcoming. Welcome people to season
yes,
two.
season 2, okay. We're gonna change up the format a little bit this go round. I think we're gonna take a step back from the picker wheel, and we're just gonna it's gonna be more laid back. We're gonna talk about things as dungeon masters that are interesting us at the moment, um, and things that we think might just help you. Like I think our number one goal here is how can we get you in the DMC? Like
Yeah.
I think
How
that's
can, how can we do that?
I think that's a good goal. So talking about as DMs from the DM perspective, what we do, what we don't do, what we like, what we don't like, tips, tricks, I don't know, whatever. Whatever fits into that category.
We're gonna teach you how to do kick flips with your tech decks.
I can still do that.
I know you can. I know you can.
I used to love me some tech decks back in the day.
That needs to be the short for this week that you put out for favorite terrain is this clip of us talking about this, and then you hard cut to you doing a kickflip on your tech deck because I know you got them. Don't lie.
Oh, I've got several. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah. That might happen. All right. Well, welcome to Favorite Terrain. Thank you for joining us. If you're here live or chat is disabled for this live stream. What?
Not true. Not true. Not true.
Not true. It better not be. Hold
I'm
up.
in here.
Say something snazzy, Trey.
Did that pop up for you?
You know, don't even
I'm,
have it.
I'm just I'm just on the channel. Nothing special.
Yeah. Let me see. What?
Not true.
No, it's there. It's there.
Okay, so I don't know what that old chat is
Woo!
disabled
Back
thing.
at
Yeah,
you. Let me.
we're definitely here.
There we go. I had the wrong. There we go.
There
Okay.
you go.
Anyway, thank you for joining us. If you're joining us live, which you can every Sunday here on YouTube, Two Beards Play, youtube.com/twobeardsplay, where you can participate in the conversation, participate in the show in real time, answer you in chat if you chime in there, or if you're listening to us after the fact on YouTube or an audio version on Spotify at the moment. Thank you, thank you. Wherever you're at, leave us a like, leave us a review, leave us something that'll help us stick around and get discovered by more people. That's the goal. Help more people, more tabletop RPG playing folks
That's what we need.
out in the world. Um, yeah. Also, you can find us over on TikTok. I've been putting out a little bit more D&D centered content for the Two Beards channel. Which also, if they're 60 seconds or under, will also show up in YouTube Shorts. So I'm trying to keep everything I do under that window. Last thing I made, um, which I've only made one, but I have several written down that are ready to go. I just have to record them. But
Mm.
I am making like a little mini series of session 1 ideas to get your party members to meet.
The
Because
the the one you did with the whole circus thing, very popular.
yeah, no, it was very good, and I need to do some more because it was people liked it a whole lot. A lot of people favorited that video, which was fun to watch.
And shared it.
Yeah. But yeah, so the idea behind those, if you are new to DMing or just DMing period, there's always something about session 1 and trying to figure out we all know why we're at the table. Everybody wants to play together, but most of the time all your players in your game don't know each other. And so as a DM, you're tasked to find a creative way, introduce your characters, and the best way to do that is give them all a common purpose, and usually that common purpose is killing someone or solving a problem. So, yeah, the first one was the circus. Um, anyway, you can go watch that. And then I think the next one I'm going to do is about trains because I've done this. There's some cool things you can do on trains.
I did something great with a train one time. I'll circle back to it. But side note, before I forget and forget to ask you about this, I've got the stream pulled up and I'm looking at it. It's the only way I can see your face. It's a little delayed, but whatever.
Right.
Um, what in the my arthritis is bothering me? Are you wearing?
So this was my Christmas present from my mom. Okay, somebody finally got the Snuggie right. Like
Oh,
the
oh, did
Snuggie,
they?
the Snuggie. This is not a Snuggie,
It
but
looks like a hoodie is what you're
oh,
wearing.
it is a hoodie. It's got a hood. Let me throw it up here. I am definitely in the hood here. Um, but if you remember, Snuggies were great. They were blankets. They covered you. They had sleeves. But much like our favorite hospital gowns, they left your backside wanting more.
Like
This,
cold.
this, and I'm gonna take my headphones off here for a second and
Right.
stand up.
Please, by all means, do what you
But
gotta do, buddy.
this is a
Oh my
floor
god.
length with a nice pocket
Oh my
for
god.
devices or controllers or cute pets. Okay.
You oh my gosh, you look like you know the answer to what would you do for a Klondike bar. And you probably didn't even hear what I just
I
said.
heard something about a Klondike bar.
I said you look like you know the answer to what would you do for a Klondike bar.
Oh, yeah.
You're like a freaking kangaroo, nightshirt,
My kids,
fuzzy hood.
my my kids, every time they see me walking around in this, which I'll add, everybody in my family got one for Christmas. We have a
Oh my
matching family
god.
set.
Oh my god. If that's not the Nelson family Christmas card next year, you're wasting all of your time.
But it's
Oh
funny.
my god.
My kids, every time I'm walking around the house, they're like, "Oh, there goes Grandpa Obi-Wan." Oh, but it's
Oh my god.
fantastic, and it's probably my favorite thing I got for Christmas. This might top the PS5.
That's
Like,
great.
I've lived
Oh
in
my
this thing.
god. This is what we gotta. We need to put those, but you need to slap the Two Beards logo right on the front.
Just some vinyl and a heat
Just
press.
some vinyl and a heat press. Just get it on there. Let's quit playing like we're not about to add this to the store. Cause where has it been our whole content creating career? Oh my god, that's gold. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's the best thing, and I'll never
I'll
not.
never apologize.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Oh.
All
Oh
right.
my
Yeah.
god, I almost threw up. I laughed so.
So
Oh my god.
so there's that. Also, if you're enjoying the content, we have a Patreon, and our Patreon has some awesome tiers on there that are all tabletop RPG related, and um, you can go in there for a dollar, or sky's the limit. So go in there and check it out and see. And in doing so, you are supporting two fathers who are old and like to play around the internet. So know that you are feeding families here.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Um. All right. I think that's it for our intro. I feel like we've got a lot of stuff to talk about now that I'm just like sitting here. It's like, oh, we need to talk about that. We need to talk about that. We
Oh
need to talk
yeah,
about that.
and it's funny because earlier you're like, is because I pitched Travis an idea of something to bring up, and he was like, "Is that gonna fill a whole episode?" And I'm like, "Even if it doesn't, it's us." Like,
Yeah.
like we've never not talked about something for less than 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right. So, um, first topic of discussion, because I feel like we can talk about it now that me, you, and Zach have all beat the game.
Oh,
Um,
okay,
Spoil
okay.
just want to hit on it, just kind of get my emotions out because you're the only one I can share it with.
Get my
Um,
emotions out.
Spoiler warning:
For
if you
God
have
of War
for
Ragnarok.
God of War Ragnarok, I finally beat it. Fantastic.
Not fantastic. Perfect.
It really was.
Perfect.
Like I'm,
Perfect.
my butt cheeks have been clenched the last like 10 hours of that game, wondering if Kratos is going to die, and I'm going to have to
Mm.
weep in front of my family as a grown man.
In a nightshirt hoodie.
Right. um, but I mean, the ending was fantastic. I have mixed feelings about Kratos and Freya's relationship. Like, you killed her husband. I mean, you killed her son, but like, I mean, there's something there.
See,
Like,
I don't think there's gonna be. I think there's gonna be
I don't
that
think
mute.
there's gonna be. I don't think they would go down that route, but
I feel like
like,
there's gonna be a mutual respect the whole way, and they will become like partners, but no one's ever gonna just say it out loud. Because if you say it out loud, they're gonna be like, "I will beat your face in,"
right?
you know?
Like, I mean, I feel like she came back a little too easy from Kratos murdering her. Like,
Oh no, man! That whole quest to get her back on our side. Oh my gosh, it took forever. Like,
it,
and see, I did all the extra stuff afterwards. Like after you beat Needhog and all that good stuff, and she's now on your side for the time being. And then she's like, "Wait, this is where I blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Ah, here we go.
oh
Let's go.
yeah,
Let's
no,
go."
I
Side
went
quest. Like I
and
did the whole thing. It took so long.
it really did, and I did all that too, and it just added so much to her, like her backstory, their relationship, because just a little banter, between her and Kratos as they're wandering around her home realm of whatever it's called, but
Vanaheim.
Vanaheim, and he's like, "Don't regret what I did, but sorry." He's
Yes.
just kind of like,
Yeah. Like
I don't."
he never backs down from his stance,
Right.
but he does acknowledge that
That
she
was messed
hurts.
up. Yeah.
Yes. He's like, I stand by what I did, and I'll never apologize for that.
But
But
I
I am
also,
sorry that you are hurting.
yeah, and I also will never judge you if you try to slit my throat.
Yeah, he's like, I get it. I get it. I totally get it. Which
Yeah.
to me is the absolute 100% embodiment of the spirit of any D&D group. You know, it's like we are ride till you die, but if somebody tries to kill us, we get it. We get
Right.
it. Like we understand. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
We're all carrying around a small fortune. If I
Yeah,
don't wake up after going to bed tonight, I'm
I
not
get it.
surprised. Yeah.
I get it. But I tell you what, I'm about to do this side quest my DM's going to come up with on the fly, come back from the dead and seek justice.
Yeah. So, yeah, and okay, so what they did at the end of that game, after you finish the story, and I'm not gonna like go into detail about the end of the story, but what they did and the fact that your son doing his giant stuff and you get to roam around post game, like I wish more games would do this. It takes me out of a game so much when I beat it, and if I want to replay it, there's always that like mandatory save right before the final boss. Like, no, you never really do beat it. Like, you can beat it. That's in the game roll credits. But if you want to keep playing, like, it's actually you're going to play right before you beat that boss. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like when Breath of the Wild came out and I finally defeated Ganon, I was like, man, I wish I could just roam around Hyrule now and just like take
And
care of
just be
stuff.
free to do whatever I want.
Right. And not have all this. Yeah.
Other
Uh,
stuff looming over you.
or just, the giant, massive, Calamity Ganon floating around the castle. Just like, I can get all the bad stuff still roaming about. But anyway, I wanted some post game content. Man, this game has some post game content. It is so cool. I just wish more games would do that. Like
It was very
I
well
feel like
done.
I earned that ability to roam around the realms freely now.
Mhm. And to have the whole thing where they're like, "There's still a lot to do," and he goes, "Yes, let us see to it." And you're just like, "All right, let's get after it,"
Yeah.
you know? And it's good stuff. There are certain actual good storyline developing things that you can only access after that point. So it's not like you can like, and I'm big on when it comes to God of War games. I want to 100% it before those final credits roll, but this one you can't.
I
You
get that.
cannot. Yeah, you cannot 100% it until after credits roll. Now there's credits and then there's final credits in this situation. Um, so to be able to do more stuff that's not just all right, I'm gonna go finish killing the berserkers, or I'm gonna go finish collecting the yada yada, or I'm gonna beat the Muspelheim trials. It's actual stuff that you can't do until that point. But I will say, on my game, I made sure everything else was done before I went to that funeral because that's in me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I told one of my group of buddies. I said I feel like completionism is like lycanthropy for gamers. You just get sucked up in it at a certain point, and then you just can't stop.
Yeah. I'm not I'm not as completionist as you are, especially with these Call of Duty games. Like, I'm not gonna lie, once I beat it and I got to that after game part, I haven't played it again. Like, I was like, okay,
You're like, I did it. I did it.
I completed something. It was a package. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna take a step back now, do something else. Because if I keep like grinding into it, I'm just gonna like end up hating it. Like, it's just gonna be like,
Yes, and I totally get that, and I've encouraged a lot of people just this week alone. It's like, hey, take a break, walk away from it. That game's not going nowhere.
right.
You know, it's going to be hard as you know with any game. The longer it's out, the harder it is to avoid spoilers on the internet. But you can be smart about it. You see a thumbnail about God of War, just keep scrolling. Don't
Yeah.
don't worry about that video. You know,
Yeah.
but it's worth it. It's great. It's fantastic. Um, and I'm honestly, you know me, I'm waiting for New Game Plus because that's the next thing. They're gonna release it in a month or so. They're going to make it to where you could do New Game Plus and start over with all your equipment. So I'm like, let's go. I'm ready for it
Yeah. Yeah.
because I want to beat it on the hard mode now.
Mm. All right. Got
I'm
that
a
out of the
glutton.
way.
I'm a glutton for punishment when it comes to God of War, though.
Yeah. Kids got concerned about me a couple times. Whenever you got that sword hilt that you stick in the gravestones and you have to fight those
Oh,
things.
the berserkers.
Yeah, I've done 3.
Oh man. Ooh.
And my kids were very concerned a couple times there. I'm just like I had to have them memorized down to a T. Like I knew their patterns and I was
Oh
just like,
yeah.
you just memorize it and you just
Mhm.
rotate. You know what's coming next. You know when you have an opportunity to heal. You know when you can attack. You know when you got to roll. Anyway, I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh,
so
it's
close,
rough.
so many
And I
times.
don't want to ruin anything for you, but some of those get really hard. In fact, there's one fight where there's 3 of them at one time.
That's the one I'm on that I have
Oh, you know what I'm talking about
that I
then.
have not been able to do jack squat with. I'm just like, screw you guys. I
Yeah.
am not.
When when
I'm
you want to
not
get
dealing with this.
yeah, when you want to get back into it, let me know. I found a build for certain armor and stuff online that really helps with those. But anyway, we got somebody in the chat. Flaming Tiger says, "Hey, I remember when I was in your class in school. Not sure if you remember me though." Well, Flaming Tiger, since you were probably not enrolled in school as Flaming Tiger,
And seeing as
probably
how
not.
we were both teachers, who you talking about?
Yeah, yeah. Are you talking about Mr. Price or Mr. Nelson over here, as our kids used to call us, or as we're known on the internet as Papa Nelly and Daddy Hattie?
Love
That's gonna be the next thing people want. They want the hats that are like Team Papa Nelly, Team Daddy Hattie.
it. Oh man. Okay, so God of War, fantastic. Right now, I'm playing Stray. I can't recommend it enough.
It's so weird when you messaged me and Zach that, and you were like, "Dude, play the game when you're a stray cat," and I'm like, "Yeah." And you're like, "Yes."
Preston, yeah, I remember
Oh,
Preston.
it's
Yeah,
one of yours.
yeah, yeah, man. How are you? Good to see you. Yep. But Stray is so good. Oh, the story, like, cool. You're a cat. You get to roam around as a cat. That in itself, the mechanics is fun. Like, but it is like I don't know the difference between the PS4 and the PS5 version or how much nicer it looks, but the game is gorgeous. And it's like this whole I'm a sucker for post-apocalyptic settings. Like give me the end of the world and I'm going to fall in love with it. And that's what we're dealing with here. And it's robots that their faces are TVs. I don't know why I love that so much, but anyway, it's such a good game. The story is fantastic. It's so gorgeous to look at. It is so fun to play, and it's on sale right now. I think it was like nominated for Game of the Year, but
Huh.
anyway,
Interesting.
it's fantastic. It's worth. I picked that up, and the Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was like $30. It
Oh
was
yeah.
also on sale, and the girls really wanted that, so it's like I got a little birthday money. Here's I'm gonna get a couple games.
So like a good dad, you spend it on your children.
Right. Like, I'm gonna play it too. I really
Well,
want
yeah, it's a
Stray.
Ratchet and Clank game. They're a good time, even though I've literally never played any of them. I
I
know, but
haven't
they're a good
either. I haven't either.
time.
This is gonna be my first. Um, and I played maybe the first 20, 30 minutes of it, and it was a lot of fun. And it is also very pretty. You could tell this is a PS5 game. Um, I just want to say Northside kicked me out, but I'm doing extremely well. I'm in the army now as a combat engineer with Airborne in my contract out here in Fort Bragg. Dude, good on you.
Good on you, man. Good on you.
Yeah. I am glad you're happy and I'm glad you're
Yeah.
doing something that you love. And I vaguely remember the whole getting kicked out thing. Dude, you know, that's in the past. Like just
Yeah.
I wouldn't give it the time of day anymore. Like
We're
you're
the only teachers that'll tell you this. School is important, but it is not the end of your life.
no.
I mean, you have a lot more going on than just your blip of existence in a high school.
It's such a blink. It's so
hmm But hey, if you really want to be a part of the crew, make sure you subscribe to Two Beards Play. Welcome to the family, buddy.
Yeah. I'm sure he's been a long time
Oh,
subscriber.
I'm sure.
Oh,
I
I'm
know.
sure.
Speaking of which, do you know what has gotten out in my my middle school now?
Hopefully our YouTube channel.
Mr. Price, I heard you have a YouTube channel. Do you have a YouTube channel? And I'm like, boy, I got 2 YouTube channels. What's up with you? And they're like, for real? It's so
Nice.
funny to get those reactions because at this school, normally I like let it slip and I like that's where we get a lot of our subscribers. But since being at this middle school, I've been very just laid back with it, and I'm like, eventually it'll get out there, and it did, and then finally people are like, what? And I'm like, yeah, man. I'm like, I'm a big video game nerd. He said I subscribed a long time ago.
Yeah. All right, looks
Yep.
like we're already up to 6, 7 likes. Dang,
We're
thank you
doing great.
guys.
We're doing great. This is what we live for.
Yeah,
We
thank you
live
guys.
to sit on the internet and talk about nerdy things.
Uh,
I
Yeah.
know you love post-apocalyptic things. I don't want to derail us too much and talk about video games too much, but one of the free games on PlayStation this week was, or this month, was Fallout 76, and I went in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm officially in Fallout 76 now.
How do you like it?
It feels like, don't take this the wrong way, but it feels like every other Fallout game. Because Fallout has a set thing, like this is what you're doing. Yes, there are
Right.
different situations, you're in different areas, yada yada yada. But yeah, it's pretty good. I forgot how much um equipment management you got to do in that
And
game.
it's more so in this one than Fallout 4
I have to say,
because
like, because
they've
you're going
ramped it up.
around. Yeah, it's because I remember you go around and you like open a box and it's like, oh, here's this crap. I scoop up all this junk and then I sort through it later. But now there's random crap just sitting out.
Yeah.
And it's like on the desk and it's on the floor and it's all these different things. And this thing that you think isn't something to go through, it is. And you need to go through that because it's stuff you need. And then I do like the building of your shelter seems pretty solid in it.
That was
Um,
my favorite part of the game. I'm gonna a little disclosure. I have maxed out a character. I have done everything that you can do in that game story wise. Like 2020 COVID time, like when that hit,
oh,
like
I see. Yeah.
that was my jam. That and Animal Crossing, and I played the mess out of that game.
And
Love it.
it's so far it's pretty tight. Like the concept is really good. I like the whole you're in a vault that actually succeeded,
Right.
you
It was a
know?
normal vault. It wasn't a social
Yes, like
experiment.
right, nothing went crazy, nobody went insane or anything like that. It's just the time came up and you got to get out there now. I don't understand why they didn't have a plan for when they opened the vault. They literally just said everybody get out. but um but yeah, so now it's like you're out in the world and you can chase down the person that was in charge, or you can do your own thing and all this other kind of stuff. And I played for a good while the other day, right up until I went into Vault 51 and got attacked by a Wendigo. And I said, nope, I'm done. Because that was terrifying. You're just
Yeah.
you're just bebopping through there, and you're like, oh, okay, some charred people, pop up, no problem. I open this one door, and this thing screeches at me and launches itself at me, and I'm like,
Yes.
I didn't sign up for this, man. I didn't sign up for this. I played The Last of Us, not The Last of Us, but that one game. Oh, what was it? Until Dawn. I'm like, I don't truck with no Wendigos now, man. I don't do them skinwalker things. So plus, I had been playing for several hours at that point, and I'm like, it's probably time to set it down. So it's one of those games where I'm like, I might pick this up a few more times because I built me like a rudimentary hut. I've got a place to be, so I'm like, I might
Yeah.
jump back in a few times.
That
I
that
see the allure.
Yeah, the allure, yeah. After I did all the story stuff, the only allure I had, and I was playing with somebody, a good friend of mine, Alex, and we would hop on there together, and that made it more fun. But we would get together and like scope out the best spots to like build really cool camps. And we just had our own little game mechanic loop where we would build stuff until we ran out of supplies, and then we'd go out and kill stuff and get supplies, and then come back and build more in the camp and rinse and repeat. And that was a lot of fun for a long time until it wasn't because I got burnt
Yeah.
out and then
Yeah,
I
because
haven't
it
touched it
doesn't
since.
change. It stays pretty straightforward,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's definitely one of those community games. Like
Oh,
if
yeah.
if y'all like if I had jumped on and then I'm doing stuff in the community, and then we open it up to the beardlings and we have like our own little Fallout beardling shelter. Like it could be more, but like you said, it's fun until it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, Flaming Tiger said, in my opinion, Fallout is the same game everywhere, but it just gets repainted with new labels. Yeah, but that's true for a lot, man. Like Elder Scrolls is the same thing over and over again. We just like it because it gets slightly better graphics and more stuff to
I was
do.
gonna say it gets prettier.
It gets prettier and it's more stuff to do.
Yeah.
And it's not even like you get more big stuff to do in these games. You get more little stuff to do in the games.
Yeah.
And you eat it up because that's the kind of weirdos we are.
Yeah.
All
Like
hell Bethesda.
yeah. And I'm this year's the year for Skyrim in space, and I'm looking forward to it. Gonna be fantastic.
Travis is gonna be on it, y'all. Just get ready.
Dude, you're not gonna see me. Like,
Mm-mm. No, he may actually take a month off from favored terrain and just be like, I can't, I can't. I got Skyrim in space.
I'm like, so the 25th of this month, Xbox is having a press conference, but Starfield's not supposed to be at that one. Starfield's gonna have its own thing later on afterwards. Like, I don't know, they haven't announced the date for that, but it's coming out the first half of this year, and I'm like, I need a date. I need a date so I know, like, is it
I
coming
tried
out
to
in the
get into the beta of that game, and
Starfield?
no, I'm thinking of another. I'm thinking of Star Citizen. Never mind.
Oh,
Different,
oh,
different thing. Different thing. Sorry.
being in the army.
You were about to be mad. You were like, there was a freaking beta.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna be in a nursing home playing video games. You don't
Oh,
feel like you have to
and me
grow up.
both, man. We're gonna be. That's when we're doing favorite terrain season 87, and we're like, welcome back. Have you heard about these new things called Full Dive VR? It's insane, but you gotta install a plug-in to the back of your skull. I'm not sure if I'm ready to commit yet.
I can't stand. Got the Parkinson's, and I'm just shaking, and it
It makes my dentures itch. I don't know about
make my
it.
dentures.
Tiger said, I just love that how being in the army, I've realized there is a lot of adults out there who also still play video games, and it's just nice to realize I don't have to grow up so soon. Dude, we have learned you do have to grow up, but not entirely. There are certain hills of childhood you can die on, and we chose to die on video games.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't, I don't know. Like, I told Chelsea, like, Chelsea does not care. She's like, cool, whatever. I'm like,
Same
I
thing.
mean, like, you know, I'm not, I'm not at a bar. I'm not,
Yeah, really.
I'm not like blowing all my money on,
You're
I
not
don't
at the
know,
casinos and stuff like that.
football. God forbid.
Football. We say it the
Football.
same way the football nerds say about us.
Yeah,
Football.
yeah. Like, it's a form of
Yeah.
entertainment. Like, I could be spending the same amount of money to go see a movie all the time.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
And until it's
Um,
not a thing anymore, we will be on the internet talking about it.
yeah. All right. So, like, the video game section of this tabletop podcast out of the way, I think. Um,
To be
right.
fair, it is connected because the game consoles sit on a top of a table like device. So there we go. It
There you
is
go.
technically a tabletop game.
Yeah, and there's some correlation there between video games and tabletop RPGs that we can link if we,
Yeah.
had
Because you know
just
what
find it.
video games don't have to worry about? Stupid OGL wars.
Yeah. It. All right, let's get it over with. Let's go down this path. Let's
Travis
go.
is like, I don't want to talk about this, but I'm like, I want to talk about
I
it.
am so sick of hearing about this. Like, I get it.
But that,
Hasbro.
but that's the thing that we need to get this opinion because you and I are of the same opinion. This is stupid, and there is way more important things we could focus our time and energy on.
Right.
But nobody's saying that. You're either pro OGL or anti AGL and
Right.
OGL, and I'm just like, y'all, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
In the grand scheme, no, it doesn't. I get the uproar and the upset um and okay, adjusting the OGL or changing the OGL does affect content creators as far as people who want to publish content for their system. Yes, and there is a lot of people out there making a good living posting this content. Sucks for
Yes,
them. I
it
hate
does.
that. Is this are they shooting themselves in the foot? Yes, I think so. I think they are
And
making
they'll
a
shoot themselves enough until finally they're like, you know what? That hurts. Let's stop it.
well, that's yet to happen though. Okay, Flaming Tiger is asking what is OGL, and I guess we should talk about that for those maybe who don't know.
Right.
Um, OGL stands for Open Game License. Okay, right now, D&D, Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast has been publishing their D&D content under what is called an open game license. The open game license allows other publishers or content creators to take their rules, their terminology, their stuff that they have made. Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro has made for D&D 5th edition, and you can take it and be like, I'm going to make my own subclass, and I'm going to use, the rules, or I'm going to make my own bestiary, or I'm going to make my, but you get to use that terminology and those rules that has been established by Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast or whatever company you want to call it, how far up the chain you want to go. Okay, and this OGL has been along for a long time, since I know at least third edition. Fourth edition was not published under the OGL, and fourth edition flopped.
Sucks.
We have Pathfinder because of the OGL. ISO took what is legally able because of the OGL. They took that terminology, those rules, and is like, okay, third edition is no more. Fourth edition's out. Nobody likes fourth edition. We're going to take third edition, which was awesome, and run with it and expand upon it. And that's how we got Pathfinder. And so fifth edition is published under the OGL. Fifth edition, you can't argue with it, is the most popular tabletop RPG because of,
Stranger Things.
well, because of other people taking that and publishing their own content, like Critical Role, like
because it works within
Dimension
the
20.
system.
Yeah, because Dimension 20, because of, anywhere you can go online and be like, hey, I made this really cool thing that you can use in your 5th edition game. Here you go. Free, or pay me a little bit of money, $10, whatever. Okay. But there's a community because it is so open. Well, they're shutting that down. They're getting rid of the OGL where you can't publish stuff using their rules any longer.
Or you can, but you're going to pay Wizards their money.
Yes, you can.
And that's the issue. And that means if you're not willing to pay what it is, content creators, like, let's use us as an example. When we did Table Scraps, and we were creating this story using Pathfinder / 5e rules, anything that used 5e rules under the new OGL either has to be taken down, or any money we make off of that as content creators has to be given a portion to Wizards of the Coast because it's their content.
Right.
That's the big thing. Now, the average Joe player, like, I understand the content creators are upset. I get it. That makes sense because you make a living off of this kind of stuff, and you're basically having the rug pulled out from under you. But love the content creators to death. You are a small drop in the bucket of the people who play D&D. Most people, I'm even willing to say 95% of D&D players have no interest whatsoever of making content on the internet. None whatsoever. So what does it mean for them? Literally nothing. And that's why Wizards of the Coast hasn't completely folded, because majority of their consumers are going to be fine. 100% fine. Because ultimately on one side of it, if we want, like, me and Travis will play D&D. We will always play D&D. And if we wanted to change things up for our game, no one can really stop us. The number one rule of D&D is that it's guidelines. Do what you want to do for your game. So, ultimately, is Wizards of the Coast gonna hurt for this? Not really. I understand the whole everybody band together and tell them we don't want them to do this and blah, 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 blah. Majority of the players of D&D, one, don't just play D&D. They play Pathfinder, they play GURPS, they play Fate, they play all those other systems because they can, And so, ultimately, yeah, Wizards of the Coast might adjust some things because enough people did say they don't like it. But ultimately, guess what? You're not gonna hurt their sales. Y'all, we're basically trying to get the Disney Corporation to change their mind. That's where Wizards of the Coast is at this point. They've been bought out by Hasbro. They are the Disney of tabletop games.
Yeah. There
Wha-
speaking of Disney, okay, so I don't have my screen thing set up to screen share right now, but I watched a video today, doing my homework, whatever. There's a YouTube channel called Legal Eagle, okay, and it's a lawyer guy who talks about legal stuff, and he did a video. It doesn't say when this one was done, but it's called Dungeons and Dragons Rolls of One on new license OGL 1.1 featuring Matt Colville. I love Matt Colville. He's one of my favorite
yeah,
human beings
great guy, great creator.
ever. But there's a few things he talks about in here from a legal point that um, a lot of people are like up in arms about, but really shouldn't be. Um, yes, going back content creation stuff like that. Yes, that affects people, and that's the biggest thing. I too would like to state that I don't think D&D 5th edition would be as big as it is if they didn't have the OGL. Like
Right.
they
Well, I
wouldn't be
agree.
they wouldn't be where they're at right now without that. And they need to remember that.
Yeah,
Um
because the reason so many people play is because content creators got the word out about the game.
right. And I will say as normal players go, yes, in your own game, in your own world, homebrew, blah blah blah, like you're not going to be affected. Do what you want. But there's a lot of people, DMs specifically, who like to go out and get extra content, and that will, in the long term, affect us. Be like, hey, I want to go see, like, okay, something I've done personally. I'm going to go on the DMs Guild website and see um what's out there for undead ancestry. Like, if I want to have an undead character, I'm sure somebody's went ahead and thought it up, what kind of racial features and whatever. And I did, and it was great. And so I downloaded it, and I think it was free, or I paid $1 or something, and and so forth. That kind of stuff really won't be possible or easily as possible with the new OGL. And
It'll kill the DMs Guild.
right, or it's going to be, yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah, it would, because you can pony up however much percent they want or not,
Mhm.
Um, but so one thing to understand, and this is going off the Legal Eagle YouTube video, that he states, like, and he goes into copyright laws, rules, and processes of certain things cannot be copywritten. So let's use Monopoly. Of course, you can't make another game, call it Monopoly. That's trademark. You can't go and make another board game and it be the exact same picture and board of the Monopoly board game. That is also trademark. But what cannot be trademarked is or are um,
Concept.
specific, well, rules and the
Right,
process
so
of doing something. So, um, and what is D&D but a very large rule book? Like, you can you can make your own content and use their rules and still be okay.
yeah.
Like, I can go and be like, "Hey, this is my world. It is, and I play this world with the fifth edition rules, and I am not infringing on Wizards of the Coast intellectual property. Like, there's just a system that I use. Come watch me play this game online." Like,
Yeah.
that technically, and a lot of people are kind of back and forth on that, but technically, this is not the final say legally, like a judge would make, but normally, or whatever, copyright laws do not cover rules or processes over, certain things like that. So anyway, I'm not a legal expert. That's about the extent of my knowledge when it comes to all of this. But I think that, if you want to know more, do your research,
Yeah.
Um, but what I do love about this that's come out of this whole OGL, um, is I've seen even in my in-person friend group here in Dothan, a lot of people are like, "Well, let's see what other tabletop RPG systems are out there."
And there's a
Like, because
bunch.
I've only ever played D&D 5th edition,
Hmm.
and while D&D 5th edition is very nice and very easy to get into, there are some really cool RPG systems that, like, are that need so much more love and attention.
Yes, I agree. And some of them have been around just as long, if not longer,
Oh,
than
for
D&D.
sure. Yeah. Um, yeah, like, even it's kinda blurry, but back here, like, I've got 5th edition books, I've got Starfinder, which sci-fi is fantastic. If you've ever played Pathfinder, it's Pathfinder in space or D&D in space. You've got your goblins, your gnomes, your elves, your dwarves. I mean, it's really cool. I've got Pathfinder, which, we said earlier, somebody took Izo took the 3rd edition rules and ran with it and expanded upon it. Um, Fantastic system. That's what I cut my teeth on learning how to play tabletop RPGs. I got
Hmm.
Pathfinder 2nd edition. I haven't even really cracked those books open, but I'm just like, I love
Which is
Pathfinder.
which is still crazy to me because we always swore up and down there'll never be a Pathfinder 2.0.
Right. And
But
I've
then they did it.
heard fantastic things. Like, if Pathfinder 1st edition had, something negative to say, it is very crunch heavy. Like, you could sit there and crunch numbers for a good while on the most basic things.
Hmm.
But where it shines is the player customizations are, like, almost boundless. Like,
Yes, I enjoyed it so much because of that.
right, you can really make some custom characters. Because right now, I feel like in 5th edition, if you make a rogue with I can't remember, like, an assassin subclass, every rogue assassin subclass is pretty much gonna be the same thing. Like, you don't get too many options to customize it.
And
Um
and there's not a lot of overlap, but in Pathfinder you could do things like, all right, I've been doing this martial class for so long. Now I want to get into magic. And it's like, oh, well, you can do this specific thing where you can put like if your specialty is you're a rogue and you love doing throwing knives. Well, now you can put spells on those throwing knives and throw them.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, it's super customizable, exactly what you want it to be. I remember when we played and I did my big iteration of Hadhod, the character.
Yeah.
Um, he was a very specific kind of fighter. He wasn't just a fighter. He could do all these crazy things because he was this specific type of fighter. And it was ridiculous the stuff he could do. You know? Like
Yeah.
I could and then I took a dip into wizard. Forget about it. Forget about it. It was like it
Yeah.
was it was the coolest thing ever. And I'm like, this is exactly what I want this character to be.
Yeah, and you didn't wanna know too many spells, you just wanna know a little bit, and props to Kote for allowing your freaking Warhammer to be
The
your
spell book.
spell book, like, they were
My
carved on
hammer
there.
was so cool. That was the coolest idea I'd ever heard in my life, and I was like, "Yes, that's what I'm doing," and it
S
was the coolest thing ever.
Speaking of Hadhod, remind me, we need to talk about him a little bit.
Okay, I'll
Um
I'll talk about me all you want.
So, if anything, okay, so if you're like, whatever, I love 5th edition, I don't care, good. If this OGL thing is bothering you, if you've got a conscience of like, stupid corporation trying to be greedy, let's go support something else. I respect that too. Go check out the options. I am for that. Another one I haven't played, I've always wanted to play is Numenera. I've heard that one's really good too.
I have heard really cool things about Numenera.
Yeah, I've got the PDF of the player's handbook somewhere on a computer, lost to the abyss.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Mm,
like, there's some really cool stuff out there that anyway, it's worth
mhm.
exploring your options if you enjoy tabletop RPG.
And also, if you really wanna get into it, I know a lot of people think that tabletop RPGs kinda fall into one, maybe two major genres. Either we're doing fantasy or we're doing science fiction. There's a lot more. There's
Yeah.
a lot more out there.
Hey,
In fact, you,
talk about that for a second. Let me see what my dog's trying to kill outside.
yeah, absolutely. So this like there's so much more. Like a lot of people have taken systems that are out there, modified them, changed it up for a very specific genre or story type, and then put it on the internet for free because they just love what they're doing. I have a campaign that I have run a few times for some people, and it's a Harry Potter setting. It's the basic rules of D&D and stuff like that, but we modified it and changed it to fit into that. I know that there's also Travis is really excited about I think there's a Fallout system, like a tabletop Fallout system and a Skyrim
Yes.
system. Yeah, and all of those other kinds of things. And I'm like, you can get very, very specific on what you want to do. A good buddy of mine from college, I'm gonna have to talk to you about this, and I would love to do an episode on it. He came up with his own system for running Star Wars campaigns that's not that weird Star Wars dice system that nobody understands. Um, so there's tons of stuff out there. There's so much out there, and yes, this is an upheaval time for the D&D community, but D&D is kind of becoming it's bigger than Dungeons and Dragons. D&D, the acronym, is becoming tabletop games itself, you know?
Right.
So get out there, find something, and if you don't like it, make your own thing. Make it happen. You mean you will have so much fun coming up with your own system. Play test it. I've helped create a couple of different systems that we're still working on because it is an involved process. But like back in the day, me and Travis came up with one that we thought was cool and interesting and different. And I've got one right now that I'm working on a lot right now that actually involves two D20s rolls and they deteriorate and all kinds of different stuff like that. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. But like, but yeah, you see, just that little me ranting for a few minutes has exposed you to at least 5 other types of D&D or tabletop RPGs. Get out there, find something. If it's not a thing, make it. Be creative. That's why we play these games, is because we're all creative individuals.
Yep. Yep.
What was your dog doing?
She barks at the air. I don't know.
Yeah, y'all got like 2 youngins now, don't you?
2 youngins?
Two young dogs.
Murphy's. I'd say he's a young adult in dog years now.
You've
She's
only had him like a year.
at least
Unless
2.
unless my time is way off.
I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good
Eh,
question. I don't know. He's chill though. He
Chelsea, come
doesn't.
tell us how old your dogs are.
Yeah, he's chill though. Like he's just lays around, hangs out.
He got that puppiness out of him.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good. Good for Murph. Proud of him.
yeah. Mochi though, she'll lick your brain. Like she'll get all up in your face.
That
All
sounds about right. Oh,
right.
sorry, didn't mean to yawn.
No, you're good.
Crept
All
up
right.
on me.
I think we're good on the OGL
Yeah, we can move on.
section.
I'm off the soapbox. I just figured if we're gonna do it, we might as well talk about it and get it out of the way. Because I knew you and I weren't necessarily on the whole shut down Wizards of the Coast bandwagon. You know.
No, it has just like I said, looking at other systems. Like me and Jeremy were talking like about all the stuff we missed about Pathfinder, and
I just figured it's a lot of fun.
it is. And I think we've been talking. He's been running the game for a while that I've been playing in, and I think we're going to transition to me DMing instead of him because he's like, I just need a break. Like that's fine. I've been wanting the DM.
All the more reason why more people should be dungeon masters because your group can rotate dungeon masters and still tell the same story.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's actually an interesting segue, Trey.
Go ahead, Travis.
So Trey and I first met, really solidified our friendship. That was a lot just for OGL. Yes, I agree. It's kind of the main topic right now for the D&D community.
Yeah, but now
Um,
we've said it, we can move on. If
yeah,
anyone wants to have another opinion, you're free to express it. Welcome to life.
yeah. So Trey and I solidified our friendship over a Pathfinder game that our friend Kote ran, and this was really you've played one game, but like it was really our first major
Campaign.
throwdown
Yeah.
of any tabletop RPG. Okay, and we had characters. You had Hadhod, the dwarf. I had Nelso, the half elf, and then Natalie played Rowan. Was also a half elf. And then when Jeremy was playing um, Jack,
The tiefling.
was he a tiefling?
He was a tiefling.
Okay.
Yes,
Well,
he had flaming claws, Travis.
um, did he really? I don't
Yes,
remember
he
that.
did. I'm not messing with you. It was a
It's
thing.
so long ago. Well, okay, so
And
um,
also remember, it was Pathfinder.
it was Pathfinder, and you could do crazy stuff like that. Uh, but so I was like, one session we've been playing for a good while. Like, hey, I really want to try my hand at DMing. And Jeremy was like, sure, go for it. And so I prepped for a game and we all got together and I ran it and it was a lot of fun. And I don't think I've really played much since then. I've
Yeah,
only DM'd. And we ran as me DMing for a while. Um,
just as long, if not longer, as when Jeremy was.
yeah. And so I remember the last session that we had, and I forget why it was the last session.
We had to stop because we were just like we were all moving to different areas. Like Kote at the time was leaving Dothan. Natalie was about to move. Like well, she wasn't about to move, but she eventually did move to Birmingham, and it got to be a lot. I think, and we just need to stop for the time being. We never said we're done entirely. We just said until it works out better, we have to put a pause on it because we didn't want to force it and then ruin the story because we had a great story going.
Right. Well, you're planning on coming here Friday, right? Is that
If y'all are playing D&D, I'm gonna be there, baby.
um well, so the last session we had, we were all in the kingdom having we were company of the king
I'm getting
and
hardcore nom flashbacks. Just saying, like I'm back
and
already.
and a great show of betrayal. Little Silas killed off my character
Don't adopt children. Don't adopt NPC children.
also. And Hadhod, my great friend, had an option of pretty much all out war or leaving out an open door.
I told this story on TikTok.
Yes, I
And it
know.
was, if you can find me on TikTok, I tell the whole story. And I was like, the whole lead in was like, you want to hear about the time my dungeon master broke me by uttering the sentence, "There's an open door nearby." Because he
Okay.
did. Travis said, "There's an open door nearby." And I was like,
Because
what?
I think like there was fire or something was going on in there, and it's like you could go in there and like
No,
take
no,
down.
what happened was you and Silas, because he had been polymorphed into an elf, so he was like, finally, I'm not a stupid human anymore.
Right.
That was kind of his thing, because he was adopted by a bunch of non-humans, so he was like, being human is the weakness, you know?
Yeah.
So he got polymorphed into an elf, and he was totally cool with it. And we trained him up, raised him, like we did everything we could for that stupid child. And then you and he, as the elves, were going to approach the Elven King because we were in a compromised position. If it didn't go just so, it was going to go bad for us. So you two walk out there and you're like, we're gonna talk our ways out of this. Everything will be fine. And Silas stabs you in the throat in front of the king. I
Yeah.
remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah. Well, for my birthday, Natalie has agreed to and has been writing for maybe the past 2 years story to pick up where I left off on that fateful evening. Um, Now I know Hadhod knocked out Ro and sent her to sea to a distant land for
Yes.
for reasons. Um, and I know this is
Mostly so
probably
Mostly so she wouldn't burn down the Elven Kingdom.
And I know this is not like the most interesting thing to people listening, but I'm getting to a point. Um, and so Hadhod and Ro took Nelso's body to a church where he did pass away. Um, and that's kind of where we left it. Nelso died. Ro got sent away. Hadhod went into hiding, and not
That was
sure what
it.
that was it.
It I will never forget that day because I will never forget the look on Natalie's face. Because what we did
Natalie
was
cried that session.
Natalie cried a lot that session.
Yeah. And I was talking to her today and I was like, and I know it. I know Trey cried. He had those stupid sunglasses on, but I bet he was crying. Anyway.
But it was so great because we're sitting there and there's a video somewhere of the actual Twitch
Moment.
when it happens. Yes. That would be great to post. But anyway, like Travis is DMing and all that stuff and yada yada yada. And at a certain point, Travis stops talking as the dungeon master. He doesn't respond to anybody. It's literally just us going through what we're doing in this situation. We don't ask for roles. We don't do nothing. We're just handling it. And Travis has stopped talking because he's dead. He's dead. And then at a certain point, Natalie's like, what do we do? What do we do? And she starts looking at Travis, and Travis looks at me. And I reach over and I grab the Dungeon Master board. And I move it and I put it in front of me. I thought Natalie was going to lose her freaking mind. I thought she was going to literally have a heart attack because she was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I said, Natalie, roll me a Constitution saving throw. And she was like, like she lost it. She absolutely lost it. That was also the day she found out that Hadhod was married.
Oh my God, is Hadhod married? How did I not remember that?
It was very much a thing because like she woke up, the dwarf that I paid to take her away was there, and she was like, "You let me out of here! You let me out of here! Do you know who I am?" And he goes, "Well, yes and no. I just know what Hadhod told me to do." And she said, "I am Mrs. Hadhod," because I adopted her in and made her a ram crown, yada yada yada.
Yes.
And so she was like, "I am Mrs. Hadhod," and he goes, "No, I've met Mrs. Hadhod. You are not her." And Natalie goes, "He's married?" And that's where he ended. and that's where that whole campaign ended.
Oh, well, for the past 2 years, Natalie has been planning because she's never DM'd before and she's been wanting to so bad. And she's like, I want to continue the story.
She's kind of been holding out to do it with this group.
Right. Well, get ready because this Friday, she's going to DM for me and you and Jeremy.
And she kind of heartburn thinking about it.
And she gave me a little synopsis of like what she's got planned, and it's gonna be good stuff. Like she has been thinking about. I mean, like I said, 2 years. Yes. And
I try to get out, and they keep pulling me back in.
So that's the plan. Friday,
we got to record it, man.
I don't.
All right, I'll tell you what. Even if it's just for me, I want the audio.
That's fair.
I'll bring something and set it up, and I'll record the audio because this has been a long time coming for us. Yeah. And I know we're kind of just on a Trey and Travis train right now. This means nothing to nobody else, but this has been a long time coming. This is big for us to finally get this group back together and to do stuff. So yeah, for no other reason.
No, I agree.
I mean, to have the OG crew there, everybody's going to be there. Natalie's going to be dungeon mastering. I'm still not sure what this fever dream is going to entail. And I got to figure out where that character sheet is, or make it again or something like that.
Right. What level would you say we were?
We were easily 13, 14.
Really?
Easily. Easy. We played for so long.
What was the name of that website we used to use? Beyond Tabletop?
BeyondTabletop.com. I wonder if it's still on there. Holy crap, it's still around.
Yeah. And I think it was just like linked to a Drive thing. Oh.
Oh my god, it's still here.
Nelso. Oh
Holy
no, error,
crap.
can't load it.
What? No, come on. Hadhod. No. It has either been deleted or never existed. I bet you they did a reset on their servers.
Yeah, I've got Gimbal, Nelso, Durin.
Oh my god. I've got Hadhod.
Oh, I've got one shot Nelso, and he was level 9.
Level
Uh,
9.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel right. I've got the original Captain Albert Alexander on here. Oh my gosh, and Grimger Hammerfist. This is
Oh, I've got all
insane.
my feats. Got all my feats here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to remake these characters though, because nothing is pulling up for me.
Yeah, we will be playing in Pathfinder First Edition.
Right, right. Oh man, yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little research and work this week. But
Yeah.
well, since Natalie's the dungeon master, she gets the final say, so she needs to decide what level we're gonna be at, and we'll just go from there, man. You know me. I mean, the character in the story is bigger than the mechanics for me. All
Yeah.
I know is that Hadhod has got a hammer that will come back to him Mjolnir style, and his spells are inscribed on that hammer. Oh, and I can cleave like a beast. Is all I remember. That's all I know. I'm excited. Well, this means next week we just got to talk about how this goes.
Yeah.
No. I take that back. I actually need to take next Sunday off.
Okay.
Yeah. Emily will be coming back from a conference, and a lot of stuff will have gone on and just spend some time together.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah. But oh my god, like this is making me real.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I got so pumped. I talked to her for probably about an hour today after church, and I was like, "Okay, what do you need? 'Cause Nelson's dead. What do you want me to do?" She was like, "Well, here are my ideas. This is kinda where I'm going with it. I don't wanna give too much away." And I kinda helped her a little bit DM-wise, like, "Okay, I think this should happen. I think this would be good motivation for us to do this as a group, blah, 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 and I think this would be great." She's like, "Well, I wanna do this and this." I was like, "Listen, this first thing you mentioned, that could be a whole freaking campaign by itself. Like, let's
Oh
slow down.
yeah.
Let's see how far we get with this." Um anyway, so I'm excited no matter what. So
I think it's gonna be great.
yeah,
I'm excited.
yeah. And we'll be over at Jeremy's. Jeremy's got an awesome game room that's just so comfortable to play D&D in.
Is that in Dothan?
Yeah, he's just like right around the corner from me.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because he married. He bought him a house. Him doing married people
Oh yeah, he grew up.
thing. um, cool. All right. Well, I think that was a good episode of Favorite Terrain.
Yeah, we gone a couple hours. I'm good with it.
An hour and 8 minutes for what it's worth.
That's not bad. No, we usually said we were gonna go about an hour. We don't want to go too crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. See, those are the type of stories that you get pumped about when you play D&D with your friends. So go make some memories. But thank you for hanging out. Next Sunday we will not be doing this, but who knows? Maybe do something. Maybe I'll pre-record something during the week and just have it come up. Just
Hey, that can work.
um. Anyway, we'll see. But normally Sunday o'clock, Sunday evenings,
Sunday o'clock.
right here on YouTube, Two Beards Play. Join us live and go check us out on Patreon and TikTok. And I think that's it. I'm glad you were here, Flaming Tiger.
Yes, thank you for hanging out in the chat. Always love it when people do that.
Yeah. All right. Till next time. I'm Travis.
I'm Trey.
For Two Beards Play. And we're out.
Bye.
Bye.